Well, good morning. This morning I want to read from Ephesians chapter 5. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her with water, with the word, so that he might present the church to himself, radiant, without spot or wrinkle or any other such thing, that she may be holy and without blemish. Is he talking about marriage or is he talking about the church? And the answer is he's talking about both. His passion for marriage is a glorious thing, and especially for a single man. But he looks beyond that and sees this as an image of Christ and the church, and that has caught his passion. As a young Christian, I was captivated by the vision of a glorious church. The people of God coming together, filled with the Spirit, to worship and to live in community where they love one another and where we experience the fullness of God's plan for our lives. One day Jesus is coming again for a glorious bride, and we are to make ourselves ready, even as he is working in us to make us ready for that great day. During times of lockdown, it may be easy to neglect this doctrine of the church and to let it just run because nothing's quite as it was before. We don't see one another, and when we do come together, those of us who are there aren't able to express our life and worship in the way that we are accustomed to. And yet this truth remains, that Jesus loved the church and gave himself for her. And he still loves the church. He said, I will build my church and the gates of hell shall not prevail. Love the Lord and love his church. Don't let this passion be lost in you simply because we don't see one another. Whether we do or whether we don't, whether we see one another and we're frustrated, which can happen. C.S. Lewis, in his book The Screwtape Letters, talks about how the devil can sometimes make the church seem very unattractive. And yet, he says, not the church as we see her, spread through all time and space and rooted in eternity, terrible as an army with banners. That, I confess, is a spectacle which makes our boldest tempters uneasy. So even when you see the church, sometimes the devil can cloud your vision so that you just see the ordinariness of it rather than this glorious splendor. But remember, Abraham left his homeland looking for the city of God. He couldn't see it physically, and even when he arrived there, he couldn't see it. His seed, he saw in vision more than the sand on the seashore, more than the stars in the heavens. And so we look into the unseen and we see that glorious vision of the eternal people of God, the church of Jesus Christ. He died for it and he lives for it. He loves the church. He's interceding for us at God's right hand. Let's take comfort from the fact that Jesus never changes in his passion. He never goes off the church. He never seeks to be joined to someone else. And his passion for us, his people, is still what it was. John Newton wrote that great hymn to celebrate. Glorious things are spoken of the Zion city of our God. This one and that one were born in her. All my springs of joy are in you, says the psalmist in Psalm 87. Let's lay hold again. Love the people of God at Beulah, at Thornton Heath, at Forestdale, wherever you happen to be, and remember that great crowd of witnesses around the world and spanning eternity that Jesus is coming for, to crown with his beauty and his glory and to gather to himself. That is our hope. Jesus loved the church. Jesus loves the church. Jesus will always love the church. God bless you.